Hey everyone, it's Bodhi here, and today I'm going to be doing a drawing tutorial, and this is my first drawing tutorial on the channel, so I hope you like it. And today I'm going to be drawing an eye. So first what you want to do is draw two lines, one at the bottom and the top, and this is going to be what the length of your eye, how long it's going to be. And then you want that middle point there, that's where the middle of the eye is. So you just want to bring it down on the left, steep, and then more gradual on the right. And you want to basically do the same thing for the bottom. Just bring it kind of close, the left side closer to the top, and join it to make the tear duct. And you want to join the other side in a point because that's the edge of the eye, that isn't the tear duct side. So now you can get rid of the lines to help the guidelines, and there's your outline of the eye. So now we're going to draw the iris, which is pretty much just a circle. And what you can do is just draw like the whole circle, even if it goes out of the eye, and this will help with the eyelid crease line. So just doesn't matter if the circle's perfect, because we can fix it later if you want. And that top bit there, you use it to make the crease line, because that's why we have one. Where the iris stops. So that's the crease. And now we're just going to draw the pupil, which is really simple. It's pretty much just a circle. And the pupil is really cool because in high light, it shrinks, and in low light, it expands. So I'm going to do mine kind of like in the middle, and I'm going to do two highlights to the left. And make sure that all your highlights and everything you're doing in the outline is quite light, because if it's heavy, it's going to be hard to, you'll be able to see the outlines when we're done with the shading. So now we're going to just do some light shading with the pencil, and this is a 2H pencil. So the first step with the shading is making the outline of the iris a bit darker than it is, and a bit heavier weighted. And then you want to make the top area of the iris a bit darker, because the eyelid blocks some light from entering the eye at the top. And now you want to blend out the edges of the outline of the iris, so it doesn't look like just an outline when it's done. And just make it go from lighter to darker into the center. And we're not going to do some details on this layer, because you won't even see it at the end once we're doing the dark pencils. So now I'm shading the skin, and you just want to make the edges a bit darker than they are in curved pencil strokes, and make the crease line blend in with the rest of the paper. So now you want to blend out the other side of the crease line with your pencil, like that. And now we're going to move on to the darker layers with a 2B pencil, and we will do detail in the iris. So as you can see, the pencil shades are a bit different. The 2B one was quite a bit darker than the 2H one. So now what I'm going to do is go back in with I'm going in with the 2B pencil, and I'm going to make the outline darker. And it doesn't matter if it's messy now, because we can clean it up later. So again, make the top of the iris darker, and then blend out the edges of the outline of the iris. And now I'm cleaning up because we don't want it to look messy at the end. So you want to make sure that you can't see the outlines of the highlights. So you just make some little lines blending into the color, the shade of the pencil, so that you can't see the outlines as well. And now I'm just doing pencil strokes that are kind of straight, and just putting them all around the iris for some detail. And now I'm going to just do some random dark lines, and this just helps it look more realistic. So it may not look realistic now, but eventually it will. So just scatter them all over the place, doesn't matter, just make them random. And now I'm just kind of blend them out with your pencil around them so that it doesn't look too harsh. So just go back and make the top of the iris darker again, so that it doesn't look all the same color. Now I'm going in with this pencil eraser, and you can buy them on eBay and Amazon, I think. They're just a pencil but an eraser, so it's just like you erase areas like a rubber, but it has a finer point so you can get small areas erased. So you just want to make random highlights everywhere, like the dark pencil strokes, and then go back in with your lightest pencil and go over them with some light lines. And then with your pencil eraser, make sure that the highlights are clean and that there isn't pencil marks in them. So now I'm grabbing a 4B pencil, which is darker than the 2B pencil, and I'm just doing all the details and lines again, but darker with the pencil. So go over the outlines again and make the top edge darker, and do the lines again, the lines all around, and then the dark random scattered lines, and use your pencil eraser or just a rubber or kneadable eraser to add the highlights with a fine point. And you just basically want to do that for the rest of the layers, but just keep going in with darker pencils. And you can do this with just one pencil, but if you have more, use them, because it will make it look more realistic in the end. So what I just did was I made the bottom bit lighter, because what you want is so that the top part of the iris is darker, because the eyelid is blocking the light from entering that part of the eye, so it's darker. So if you can't get it darker there, just lighten up the bottom bit. So now I'm using a 6B pencil, and since it's my darkest pencil, I used it to fill in the pupil, and you just basically do everything again, outline the iris, make the top part darker, and the only different thing about this layer is that instead of just doing the lines all around, you want to do them in clumps. So there's bits that are just grey, and then I'll go back in with my pencil eraser to make bits that are lighter, and this just makes it look more realistic. There isn't just two main highlights, that there's kind of little ones everywhere, and that's pretty much what the iris has, because it doesn't just have one or two major highlights, it has little smaller ones everywhere else. So now I'm going to fill in the part of the white part of the eye, which isn't perfectly white. So I'm just drawing some veins, tiny little veins, and make them quite light, and you just do squiggly lines, and you can do like basically just like a branch, and you can add like another branch on. So just now what you want to do is go in with your lightest pencil and just make curved motions from one side of the eye to the other, and make it darker at the edge, just slightly darker at the edge, and then go a tiny bit lighter when you get closer into the center. And what I did is I got a tissue to blend it, because it just smudges it and makes the lines look more smooth. But you don't have to use a tissue. You can use a paintbrush. A paintbrush works too, or you could use blending stumps. But I lost mine, so I couldn't use them. Now I'm going into the tear duct, and basically you kind of just fill it in first with your lightest pencil, and you're only going to use a pencil and like the light one and your next one. So kind of just fill it in, and then grab your pencil eraser and add like this highlight somewhere, and then make one edge of the tear duct like darker and blend it in with the rest. So and then you can if you want to, coming in from the edge, just make it like a squiggly line blends in to make it look more realistic if you want, but I didn't. So now I'm just kind of like breaking up the highlight so that there isn't just one long highlight, it's kind of like in half. So now I'm going into this, doing the skin again, but with the 2B pencil. So you basically just repeat what we did before, make the edges darker and the crease darker, and then blend it into the center. And grab your pencil eraser and make just like this little highlight in the center, and then you can blend it with whatever tool you have. Tissue is the best for skin. Different blending tools are better for different areas, but I think tissue is the best for like the eyes, because first of all, loads of people have it, and second of all, it's just like easier for covering bigger areas. And then you want to go on the other side of the crease again and blend it into the paper. So since it does, the eyelid doesn't just block the top bit of the iris, it also blocks the top bit from the white of the eye. So you just want to make that a bit darker and then blend it in with the rest of the eye. So now what I'm doing is I'm grabbing a pencil that's fairly dark and is sharp, so to do the eyelashes, because you want a dark and sharp pencil, because eyelashes are quite dark and they have to be quite thin. So basically just make a line across the eyes, or like this, just think of it as like a baseline for the eyelashes to sit on. And then what you want to do is on the right side, you want to curve it. You want the eyelashes to curve to the right. In the middle, you want the eyelashes to stick kind of upwards and only curve just a tiny bit. And on the left, you want them to curve to the left. And when you get closer to the left, the eyelashes get shorter and there's less of them. So just remember to make them shorter and make less of them near the edge of the eye, near the top of the edge of the top lid. So that's pretty much it for the top row of eyelashes. The bottom row of eyelashes is slightly different because there are a lot less eyelashes, and they're a lot smaller at the start and they don't go as far. So you also don't want them to start like exactly from where the eye is. You want them to start like a bit further away. So and then just draw the eyelashes just like before, kind of make them curved curve the direction they're going. And you can do a few more eyelashes if you want. It depends if it's like someone wearing mascara or like eyelash extensions. I'm just doing just a normal eye, but you can do that if you want. So now I'm going back into the iris with my darkest pencil and just refining all the lines, because they kind of, my hand kind of smudged them a tiny bit. So I'm just doing that again with the 6B pencil and my pencil eraser, and then I'm just blending it slightly. So that, after you've finished the iris, eyelashes and everything, that's pretty much the end of the eye.